place where someone once felt, thought, and loved. For centuries, scientists have been battling to understand what this unappealing object is all about. What the object is all about.
Here is this massive jelly you hold in the palm of your hand, and it can contemplate the vastness of interstellar space. Contemplate the vastness of interstellar space.
Brain has evolved from the inside out. Its structure reflects all the stages through which it has passed.
Information in the form of energy streams in simultaneously through all of our sensory systems in the form of energy, our sensory systems, and then it explodes into this enormous collage of what this present moment looks like, what it feels like, and what it sounds like. Explodes into this enormous collage, and in this moment we are perfect, we are whole, and we are beautiful.
It appears rather gruesome, wrinkled like a walnut, and with the consistency of mushrooms, like a walnut.
What you know is encoded in cells called neurons, and there are something like 100 trillion neural connections. This intricate and marvelous network of neurons has been called an enchanted room. An enchanted room. The neurons store sounds through snatches of music. Whole orchestras play inside our ears. 20 million volumes worth of information is inside the heads of every one of us. The brain's a very big place, a very small space.
Information in the form of energy streams in simultaneously through all of our sensory systems in the form of energy, our sensory systems, and then it explodes into this enormous collage of what this present moment looks like, what it feels like, and what it sounds like.
No longer at the mercy of the reptile brain, we can change ourselves to think of the possibilities.
Feeding your brain as a newspaper, feeding all the information it can store, but it doesn't take up too much room because it's full. Feeding all the information it can store.
Be seen with the eyes, but be seen with the flavor as well. And seeing with the flavor is often called imagination.
The brain can contemplate the vast range of brain has evolved in successive stages.
And then it explodes into this enormous collage. And in this moment, we are perfect, we are whole, and we are beautiful.
It is the most mysterious part of the human body, and yet it dominates the way we live our adult lives. It is the brain.
Well, first off, I have to apologize for the audio levels on this podcast, on this vodcast. But first, why am I standing here in front of you with my shirt off? Well, whenever I posted my very first video, should be down below, the very first of the vlog casts, I received a message from my friend Perry on Facebook. And Perry is a friend of mine, and I don't know whether or not he meant anything by it, but he basically insinuated that I am telling you what to do without doing what I tell you. Now, to me, I could have posted a picture of myself with my shirt off or something like that, and that would have been fine. However, pictures can be photoshopped, they can be edited. You can ask, was I tensing? Was I not tensing? You know, was I doing this? So, I think a video speaks louder than words. Now, since he's my friend, he probably didn't mean anything by it, but I wanted to tell you, I wanted to show you that I say as I do, and then I do as I say. So, besides that, this is a great little way for me to review this game. It's called Dance Factory, and it's for the PlayStation 2. Now, originally, a while back, I think I was about 18 before I started playing Dance Dance Revolution, and Dance Dance Revolution has gotten great results for a wide variety of people. There used to be a website called Get Up Move that was all about Dance Dance Revolution. However, in recent years, nobody's posted on it. But it used to be like a repository for people who have lost like hundreds of pounds on Dance Dance Revolution. And I was 18 before I first got into Dance Dance Revolution. Whenever I first got into it, I wasn't good enough to actually sweat. I was doing normal workouts at a very high intensity, and I wasn't good enough at Dance Dance Revolution to sweat. Well, what happened was I had to do the double max Dance Dance Revolution, dance on 2 mats, and it was semi-difficult, but that was the only way to get me to sweat back then. But eventually, I got into it. I got semi-good at it. As you can see, I'm not the best at it, but I got semi-good at it. I began competing with other people that play Dance Dance Revolution, and eventually I got to the point where I am today. I eventually quit doing Dance Dance Revolution basically because I could not control what the lyrics of the music says. The choice of the music that I just played was a Symphony of Science. It was called Ode to the Brain. And that's the part of the reason that I chose that song is because it was a band that my friend Perry recommended to me. And they did not disappoint, and I don't know whether or not I came across as sincere, but I do sincerely like them, and I have downloaded all their music. So, for me, it's important to control the lyrics in a song to make sure that they're promoting the right values. You know, if you are listening to nothing but Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park and Korn, chances are you're eventually going to hate your parents. It's a weird thing, and I've had plenty of discussions with people about it, but those are that is the music of the generation of people who do not like their parents. And I was having a discussion with somebody, and even though some of the music is obviously breakup music, they're singing to their parents. But the values that music promotes affects you more than you think it does. You know, it sneaks up on you. And I always take the example of whenever you're having a bad day and you start listening to breakup music, and so the day just gets worse and worse and worse. You just get in a darker and darker and darker mood. When you could have just listened to some upbeat music and turned your mood around. Evan Pagan calls it upper self and lower self. Everybody kind of gets that. They kind of get the upper self and lower self thing. They get that whenever they hear it, and they kind of know when they're in upper self and lower self. And whenever you start to slip into lower self, you need to do something to get yourself back into upper self. I used to carry around a whole scrapbook, and I used to look through the whole thing. As soon as I started to get into that darker mood, I would stop everything, and I would look through the whole thing, picture by picture. And then by the time I was done, I was always back to my regular self. And some days were so tough that I would have to do it like 10, 12 times. The point is to get back on the positive mindset, get back to doing things that actually make a difference, and then get back to what you were doing. This also leads into another concept that I wrote about whenever I was 18. I wrote a book when I was 18, and I called it The Game, and it was terrible. It was full of misspellings and everything, and I couldn't find the link to it if I wanted to give it to you. But the big point about it was that fitness did not have to be going to the gym, forcing yourself to do things, and then grunting and, you know, having all this effort and exertion and everything. Fitness did not have to be that way. And that's part of the reason that I'm reviewing Dance Factory. Dance Factory is different than the other Dance Dance Revolutions because you can take any music CD and it will make tracks out of it. You can even take the audio off of this video and then dance to my words. You can take any podcast, you can take any audiobook and dance to it. I don't recommend it. You know, the dances will be wonky, they'll be all over the place, but it'll try its hardest and then it'll give you dances out of it. There's one out for the computer that fans around the world, they'll make dances out of everything. They made dances out of Trogdor the Burninator, and they made dances out of all these other wonky songs. And if you can get that, I totally recommend it over the PlayStation 2 one. The only complaint that I've ever seen anybody have about it was that the controller that comes for the computer doesn't work as well as it should. They had to basically stomp in order to get the computer to register their movements instead of just, you know, dance. I don't really consider it dancing when you're just stepping on the 4 squares and hopping around. And that goes into the next thing. The fitness being a game has greatly increased in the past number of years. Now, first they had like Wii Fit, and then we had, you know, other things came along, and now the Xbox Kinect is probably the best kind of fitness thing there is out there. And I was talking to somebody about their dance game on Xbox Kinect, and it'll actually teach you how to dance. Like if you're doing a movement or something, you know, if you don't pelvic thrust to the depth that it wants you to on the screen, it'll make you do it again. So it'll actually teach you how to dance within the confines of the screen. If I move off screen, then you're just hearing a disembodied voice of me. But that's the thing, if you move off screen, you know, they can't teach you like the electric slide or something because it'll move you off the screen, or you'll just have to do it in the little square so it can see you. So there's lots of different options. There's a game out for The Biggest Loser. I heard that it was extremely good. There's so many different options for you to make fitness into a game. So what I always tell people to do is choose a sport. There is a sport out there that is right for you. Choose a sport, and I don't care if it's martial arts, if it's bowling, if it's darts, if it's tennis, you know, badminton, who knows? Shuttlecock, who knows? Choose a sport, even if it's shuffling. I think it's called shuffling, where they do the little, I don't know. But choose a sport, and then, you know, choose a sport that you enjoy and everything, and then you'll be working towards the goal of performance. And whenever you're working towards the goal of performance, you can actually make fitness into a game. The sport is a game. You can make fitness into a game, and everything beyond that becomes a lot easier. But I'll put the resources for everything I mentioned down below. Go ahead down below and you can click on it and do whatever you want. But I just wanted to make this little video, refute a little comment that I had, and make that a perfect transition for reviewing this game. But I'll talk to you the next time I get the chance.